Thought I'd take a second to give you a view of the pigs feeding peacefully. Now they already had about 4 buckets of Mexican food, so they're not normally as ravenous as they might normally be. These are American Guinea Hogs, for those of you who've never seen these guys before. There's a couple of piglets, they're about 2 weeks old now, munching down. You see the guinea fowl in the background. They're opportunistic feeding. I got 5 left. About a year ago, I had 11. They get predated with hawks, foxes, whatever, can catch them. And maybe even a livestock guardian dog. They think they can get away with it. But these little guys, I think I'm going to try to market these little piglets. When they get about butterball turkey size, like they'd fit in a conventional oven, I'm thinking about harvesting these guys for the first time at that tender age, and see if I could market them as basically a roast suckling pig. So you cook it exact same way you would a butterball turkey, only it's a pig, and I would scrape the hair off so all the crackling hide would be on it, so you get this succulent, very tender meat crackling. It's my salivating just thinking about it, really. All right, I keep there are a dozen grown-ups in here, 2 of which are intact males, and so I got 6 females and 6 males. Of the males, only 2 are intact. My main breeding boar and a smaller boar, because I like the smaller. In fact, that's him. Let me use my pointer finger. That's him right there. And see that bristly nose? I think I want to call him Snaggle Snout. I haven't picked a good name for him. He's got this snaggly snout. It's almost got like a big old Groucho Marx mustache. I don't know if y'all can see that, or if the camera does him justice. But he's got this like real bushy, bristly snout on him. And I like him because he's a smaller frame. Because when you kill a big pig, like that big old mama over there, I mean, that's like 250 pounds. And it's a lot to process for me. You know, day one is shooting, scraping the hair off it, eviscerating, and hanging it up to cool off in a big old a meat sack, which is basically a bed sheet folded in half and hemmed up like a pillowcase overnight in the cold, so that the meat gets stiff. You know, it's cold and it's easier to butcher. But that's like a 2 or 3 day affair. And I kind of want to shoot for a smaller breed of pig. I mean, these guys are prolific, right? 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. So a shade under 4 weeks, 4 months rather, is what their gestation period is. And they could conceivably knock out literally like 3 litters a year in the right conditions. So, I mean, they could be really prolific. Right now I've got them all together because I don't have the fencing infrastructure to keep the males and the females really separated. But I will once my perimeter fence gets done and I can create more separate paddocks, especially in the woodland, way up off to our right. This has been traditionally the summer paddock. You can see Elk Creek Bridge right there. And this is what we commonly call the flay, which in South African parlance is like a wet, swampy area. That's their summertime habitat. And then in the wintertime they go up behind me up on the ridge with the pine trees. But I'm hoping to establish more. You can see the damage that's caused by having them in here, these pigs in here. This will be like the, I don't know, 5th year. And so you get this little, they dig up the edge of the pasture after the grubs and worms underneath the roots of the plants. And you can tell that, I mean, the soil is, they have eaten the soil away at least 6 inches. Some places way on the other side, with a way like over there, it's even like 12 inches. So they do a pretty good bit of damage / disturbance. And that right here, there is an example of our body disposal capabilities of these guys. We jokingly say they can eat a human in 8 minutes flat. That whole series, Deadwood. And for those of you who've seen it, Mr. Wu's Pigs. It's where all the bad guys who got killed, or anybody that got killed, got fed to Mr. Wu's Pigs, and it was said that they could eat a human in 8 minutes. Anyway, That's a fully grown 200-pound ram, which we lost yesterday, well, a couple days ago actually. He was my alpha male. He's half eaten by the pigs now. That's what you see is the top half of his corpse. In fact, while I'm at it, let me show you. Mick, lie down. You're not going anywhere crazy. I'll show you the other half of his horn. This is crazy, right? You only hear about this in like wildlife shows, but the two males were locked together. So here's his horn of the dead one that I had to cut off. There's the remnants of my lead alpha male, my main breeding guy. But he got beat out, and they literally locked horns. I mean, the other ram had like a full curl and a half, just like this one. And they literally, like two corkscrews joined together, and evidently old boy over there, whose name was Fugly, because he wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, died. Must have snapped his neck, but there they were. And they'd been there like almost a whole day, I guess, by the time I got to him. And the big black one I call Onyx, he's like all black, beautiful ram. I kept him. These two is my primary mating pair, and man, Mother Nature took her course, and Fugly bit the bullet there. Anyway, he's pig food now, and but it's life on the farm, you know. So anyway, and I always like to keep two males for any of my any types, right? In case one male goes down, like you just saw, there's another one to take his place, and you don't have to go scramble and try to find the right breed or temperament or genetics or whatever. So, all right, well, I guess I'll sign that off. This belt, you see, this sandwich of two fences together. This was originally, and still will be one day, a planting paddock. When the pigs have first moved onto it, and you scatter the food like I have, they'll plow it up pretty good. And then once they got it plowed up pretty good, it normally takes about 10 days, 2 weeks. And then you plant your seed, your wheat seed, your barley, oats, whatever, into it and kind of rake it over, and that's the idea, to have it planted. So this is actually a planting belt into which I feed the pigs. They plow it up and then I plant on top of that. That's the idea. I haven't actually executed that yet, but that's the long-term plan. And for the last several years, just been experimenting to see what kind of disturbance is caused in the soil by these guys, with an eye that one day into these planting belts I will plant small grains to offset my feed costs. I don't have any illusions of producing all the grain I need and be totally self-sufficient, but it's a dream and it's a goal one day to try to achieve that, or at least take some of the pressure off of that money outlay every 6 to 8 weeks, which is considerable. I think that's it today. I don't know what the date is. The date is what the date is. It might be the 28th of October. It's Wednesday, whatever that is. It is a Wednesday. I don't know if it's the 28th. All right, I hope this finds you all, and this is my update from Shining Light Farm.